Hey guys, welcome to class. Today we're going to be talking about multiplying decimals. We're going to look at multiplying two positive decimals as well as what happens when we start adding in some negatives. We've already talked about adding and subtracting, and when we talked about how when we add and subtract decimals, we have to line up the decimal place. When you multiply decimals, you don't have to. It's okay if they naturally line up. It's not bad if they line up. It's just not necessary for them to line up. But because we don't line up the decimal points, where we put the decimal point in our answer is a little different. We've talked about with addition and subtraction where you line up the decimal points and then you just bring the decimal point straight down. That's not the case with multiplying. So when you're multiplying decimals, as we see in this example here, this one they do naturally line up, which is fine. It's okay if they do. But we're going to multiply these as if they're whole numbers. So we essentially kind of ignore the decimal point for right now. So you can see what they did is they multiplied what's in the ones place, which is a 5 by everything in the top number. Then they moved over and you're going to put that basically 0 there as a placeholder because you're moving over to the tens place. So they multiplied then everything by 4 and we add them. Now, where the decimal point goes is you need to see in your problem how many digits are behind the decimal point. In this problem, there's 2 digits in the first number and 2 digits in the second number, so that's 4 digits total. And so you can see there that they put the decimal point 4 digits over, so you start counting from the right side of the number. So in other words, in your answer, there should be 4 digits behind the decimal point in your final answer. All right, so now that we've looked at one, let's do some practice. Okay, so as we look at number 1, I'm gonna start by writing these numbers as one over the other, and you can notice on this one the decimal points do not line up, and that's okay. I do not need to line them up. So I'm going to start by multiplying what's in the ones place, which is a 1, by everything. So 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 5 is 5. Then I'm going to move down and I'm going to add that placeholder 0 because now I'm moving over to the tens place, so I need to start in the tens place. So 3 times 6 is 18. Then I carry a 1. 3 times 0 is 0, and so then just plus 1 is 1. Then 3 times 4 is 12, carry the 1. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So now I'm ready to add these, and what you should be noticing is that this is exactly what you would do if there was no decimal point there. All right, but now I need to look to see, all right, how many digits do I have in my problem behind the decimal point? And there are 1, 2, 3 in the first number, 1 in the second number, so that's 4 total. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 digits behind the decimal point in my answer, which means it's going to go right there between the 6 and the 7. Now, one thing that you can do to sort of check is I always look and I'm like, okay, if I just ignore the decimal point, essentially here I have 5 times 3, which is 15. And so I know that my answer should be in the ballpark of 15, which 16.7586 is. But if you had put the decimal point between the 7 and the 5, for example, 167 is nowhere near the ballpark of 15. So that's a good quick way to sort of check that your decimal point's in the right spot. All right, let's go ahead and do number 2. So here we have 2.13, and then below it I'm going to put 5.5. Again, you'll notice the decimal points do not line up here. That's okay. I'm going to multiply the 5 by everything in the first number. So that's 15, carry the 1. That's 5 plus 1 is 6. That's 10. When I move down, I put that placeholder 0. So this is, again, 15, carry the 1, 6, and then 10. I'm now going to add these two. So that's 5, 11, carry the 1. That's 7, 1, and 1. All right, so now I'm going to count the decimal points. So I've got 1, 2 in the first number, 1 in the second number, so that's 3 total. So I need 1, 2, 3 digits behind in my answer. And so the final answer here would be 11 and 715 thousandths, or 11.715. And again, if you look back at the problem and you see, okay, 2 times 5 is 10, I know I should be in the ballpark of 10, and 11 is in that ballpark. All right, so I'm actually going to ask you to pause the video right now, and I want you to try number 4 and 5. So we're going to skip 3, and I want you to try 4 and 5, and then in just a minute, you'll check your answers. All right, so go ahead now and check your answers with mine. What you should notice is in the first one, there are 4 digits behind the decimal point in the problem, which means I need 4 digits in my answer. And on number 5, there are just 3 digits behind in the problem, so I just need 3 digits behind in my answer. And again, just like we talked about, if you look at number 5, if you ignore the decimal points, 4 times 2 is 8, so you know your answer should be in the ballpark of 8. It's a good quick way to check that you're on the right track. All right, so now that we've done it with positive numbers, we're going to take a look at what happens when we start adding in some negatives. All right, so before we jump into multiplying decimals that might contain negatives, let's do a real quick review of what happens when we multiply negative numbers. So we've already looked at the fact that a positive times a positive gives us a positive. But if you remember, when we multiply things with the same sign, it's always positive. So a negative times a negative would also be a positive number. And then if we multiply things with different signs, that would be negative. And we talked about it doesn't matter if the first number's negative or the second number's negative or the bigger one's negative, or the smaller one's negative or the one further from 0. None of that matters like it does with addition and subtraction. We're just saying if they have the same signs, it's negative. If they have the same signs, it's positive. If they have different signs, that's when the answer is going to be negative. So again, it makes it a little easier, I think, than addition and subtraction, because as you look at, for example, number 7, before we do anything else, we know that this has to be a negative answer. And sometimes I'll even make a little note for myself so I don't forget that negative sign. Since those have different signs, one's positive, one's negative, I know my answer is negative. So what I can do here is just multiply these, and essentially I'm going to kind of ignore the negative and add it back on at the end. The other thing you'll notice is that 9, or the negative 9, doesn't have a decimal point. So just as a reminder there, the decimal point is actually behind that 9. You could add some zeros. We don't need to. We would if it was addition, but with multiplication, since we don't have to line up the decimal points, we don't need to worry about that. But you do need to know that the decimal point's behind there in terms of when we count digits. So we'll get to that in just a second. Let's multiply everything by 9. So this is 45, carry the 4. And then that's 36 plus 4 is 40. And then that's 27 plus 3 is 31. And so when I count digits here, you'll notice there's just 2 because there's no digits behind in that second number. And so this would just, the decimal point would go between the 1 and the 0 there. All right, and so I get 31.05. However, I need to go back now and remember that I need to add that negative sign because they had different signs to begin with. So I knew right off the bat it was going to be negative, so don't forget the negative sign in your answer. Also, just like before, you can sort of check. So 3 times 9 is 27, so I know I need to be in the ballpark of 27, which I am. All right, let's take a look at number 8. As you look at number 8, what you should notice is that we have the same signs. We have a negative times a negative, and so that tells me right off the bat that my answer is going to be positive. And so when I multiply these, again, I can kind of just ignore those negative signs for right now and just multiply these numbers as normal. And again, I don't need to line up those decimal points, so here I'm going to multiply everything by 1. I'm going to move over to the tens place. That's 12, carry the 1. That's 5, 8, and 4. Then I'm going to add these up. And I am looking to see, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 digits behind in my problem. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 digits behind in my answers. So my final answer here is 4.9733. And since it's a negative times a negative, my answer is going to be positive. All right, so why don't you take just a moment right now, pause the video, and try number 9 and 10. All right, so go ahead and check your answers with mine. As you look at number 9, one thing that you should notice here is, if you notice, I flip-flopped and put the 61.2 on top and the 5 on bottom. It's much easier to multiply having the one with more digits on top and the one with less digits on the bottom. Because the order doesn't matter for multiplication, it's no big deal for you to do that. The other thing I noticed here is that because they have different signs, one's positive and one's negative, I knew my answer needed to be negative, so don't forget to put that negative sign on at the end. And then I have negative 306.0, and that's a totally fine way to write your answer. We also know that obviously that 0.0 is not necessary, so it also would be fine if you put negative 306. All right, then as you look down at number 10, the first thing you should notice is that you have a negative times a negative. And so we know right off the bat that my answer is going to be positive there. And so when I multiply those, there's a whole lot of zeros there as you're multiplying, but you should get 70 and 175 thousandths, or 70.175, because what you should notice is there's 3 digits behind in the problem, and so therefore you need 3 digits behind in your answer. All right, so that's where we're going to stop today. Hopefully this was a good little review of multiplying decimals, ones that had positives and also ones that had negatives. Have a great day.